I was locked down by 19.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Now, I don't know what happened, but it became a violent situation. I had to understand, why was I allowed, like, why can you get to the point where you love a person so much, but you can put your hands on them? And I guess what really was the turning point for me to say I have to leave, my daughter was looking at me. Like, when you don't have money, it's even more stressful.
Yes.
And when you've chosen a person who is just not a provider, it's just another layer of frustration. I want to play my role, but when I don't feel safe to do that, I withhold a lot.
How did you continue to have children with a man that is not providing for you and you're not happy?
Sometimes I feel like I'm so alone here, and there's not a soul on this country who can carry this heavy, ugly, embarrassing shit that I have.
Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so today I have with me Lyanna.
Liana. Yes.
Do you pronounce it Liana?
Liana.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, there you go, Liana.
Yes.
Hey.
Greetings.
I'm really happy to have you on the show.
I'm so happy to be here.
Do you know the reason why? Because I felt like we had a connection.
Yes.
Do you remember?
I can never forget.
We went to an event and we spoke at the end of the event, and we were talking about relationships, and I was telling you about my relationship. You told me a bit about yours, which I had no idea about, by the way.
It was early then too, so like.
Yeah, I could tell it was very raw, and then we both broke down and we cried and stuff, and it was really, really emotional.
Yeah.
And so when I approached you about doing this, I wasn't even 100% sure if you were ready, because everybody, you have to go through your healing phase a bit first to get to the point where you feel open enough to be able to talk about your experience. So I wasn't sure, but then you were like, "Yes, I'll do it," and I was like, "Yeah, she's gonna do it."
Yes.
So I'm super excited to hear about your story, your journey, and everything that has played out.
Yes.
So maybe you can start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So my name is Liana. I am a mother of 3. I am a multi-passionate entrepreneur. That's kind of what I'm calling myself.
Okay.
I run a digital operations agency that is catered to purpose-driven business owners, mostly in the wellness industry. And then I recently launched a fashion brand called Afrique Rose.
I saw that. Hey.
Having one on today, and this brand is just all about transformation and identity and how it can evolve and how your clothing can evolve with you. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay.
In the midst of all of that work, I'm always working on myself. That's like the top of the list. My inner work is probably the number one priority of it all, because it's what helps me even show up in all of the other hats or roles that I play, the hats that I wear.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, very important.
all of that.
No, I get it. So, so you were married?
Yes.
Are you
I
still
was.
married, or you?
Legally, yes, but energetically, physically, all the leaves separated.
I relate to that.
Yes.
Seriously, yeah, I get that.
We'll get to that legal aspect, but for right now, I am just kind of rebuilding. I'm in a space of rebuilding after the marriage was 7 years, the relationship was 11 years, so kind of like spending more time out of that than I was in it,
Yeah.
It's gonna take, if not half, a lot of time to kind of drain all of the programming of marriage, and specifically mine, so yeah.
So how did you go from being in this relationship, because obviously you dated for some time before you got married?
No.
You didn't?
I was locked down by 19.
Oh,
yes.
no.
Now, I don't know I had no idea what I was doing. Yes. 19 years old, I met him, and by 21, I was a mother. By 22 going on 3, we were married, and then my second son came. Like, it was just a lot happened really fast, really soon. So I didn't really get that traditional dating experience. I was right in the middle of university, doing my thing, working on my major, and it was, a lot of decisions were made.
Wow.
Yes.
No, but your story's not unusual, because that's usually what happens. We fall into this thing of just, from whatever we are doing, we go into this relationship and then it spirals. Like you say, you fall pregnant, then you get into the marriage, and then you leave more and more of you behind.
Yes.
And you take on this persona that everybody feels that you should have, you know? And so you tend to get lost. And then after that happens, you find that you have to rebuild yourself. And often we don't even know who we are.
Nope.
Because that's really, I mean, I complained about mine, and I'm like, I was 24, you know? I was 24, and then I got married after a year and a half, and for me, that feels fast. I cannot imagine what that felt like for you, especially having a child in the midst so early on too. That must have been tough.
Yeah, it was a challenge, but it was like something in my mind. I felt like I made my bed, I needed to lay in it, and I knew from a young girl I wanted to be a mom. Like, I wanted that family life. I wanted to like pour into my own family the way I wish my family would have done for me. You know, growing up without a mom, that was really challenging, and it really, I lost my mom at the age of 4. So I did not get that biological. Yes, I have an amazing stepmom. I don't even call her that. She's been in my life since 7, you know, but still it's very different when you don't have your birth mother, the one whose womb you came from. And so that, I feel like I kind of went through life a little blinded. The guidance that I wish I had, I was kind of seeking in other things that I, really probably had no business. So it wasn't easy, because when these big decisions were being made, I just didn't have the family support. You know, they were just totally not trying to hear me and see me for where I am right now. Like, yes, I know the vision you had, but this is where I am now. And a lot of it kind of, like our bond, my ex and I, it fused with this like us against the world kind of thing. Because, you know, once I let people know, my family, it was kind of like, okay, well, good job, you're on your own, pretty much. And so it was kind of like we were both of us were kind of in this survival space, and I don't think we ever left that space. You know, we didn't have the traditional, you know, being courted and, you know, the parents approving, going through that whole initiation. We skipped a lot, and it made a lot of other things kind of challenging, you know, to get over.
No, that's definitely very difficult. And honestly, I mean, I think that when you don't have a role model, someone you can look up to who has done this before you, that's advising you, it's easy to fall into this, because I have the same experience where I didn't have anybody that really stepped in and said, okay, look, I think you should think about this, or, you know, just wait some time, you know. So it's easy to see how it can happen. And I really believe that we are from the generation where we were put on that roadmap of get married, have kids, get your mortgage, and you push through. We're not taught that survival mode is actually not a good mode to be in, especially for long periods of time. It's not healthy for relationship, it's not healthy for you as an individual, and we are just left to it. Because you're married, they're like, okay, she's married now, so let her deal with it. Go ahead and do your thing. But you need a lot more than that, and so it does become very, very tough. So what led to the relationship breaking down in the end? Because you were married for a while, so you've tried. You've tried.
Yes. That's kind of where I go into my Ghana story, because I'll touch on it and then I'll refocus. But being here, something happens. Like when you leave the US and you come to Ghana, something happens.
I'm so glad you said that. I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm just like, I'm so glad that you have said that, because I say it to people all the time. There's something about Ghana. When you come here, if you have a small chink in your marriage, in your relationship, come to Ghana, it'll be magnified.
And then it'll be not only magnified, but then you're put on this fast track that you're just like, what is happening? And so that's what happened. You know, we moved here May 2021, and the fact that we didn't land in Accra too, we landed in Takoradi. So we were there for a year, and so not only did something happen, but then we had this extra layer of slow down.
Yeah.
Like, slow the F down.
Yeah.
Because Accra is not slow, but it is a lot obviously slower than coming from a Western space. But being in Takoradi, and we weren't even in the main city, we were in a small town called Esapone, which is like fishermen, like local.
That must have been a huge change.
It was, but it was exactly what I needed, what my family needed. We got to, and it probably was, in hindsight, it wasn't the smartest thing, but I kind of just totally stepped out of the capitalist aspect of maintaining, and we were just floating on savings and like just, enjoying life for once. And even though we were fresh off of COVID, fresh off of like being in each other's spaces 24/7, Durham, North Carolina, just grinding, going, like being able to kind of do that again, but we were facing the beach, like it was beautiful. That was the catalyst for me finding who I am and my purpose. I'm telling you, those Takoradi days, it felt like I was just waiting for the world to end. Like in a beautiful, like I was waiting for ascension. I was waiting for that next level. I started getting really deep into metaphysics and understanding life contracts, and it kind of had me looking at my life a little crazy, like, this is, what did I do? Who did I choose? And it took a lot of deconditioning and rewiring for me to kind of see very clearly the ugliness. And I speak about this all the time, the dark clouds that started to very clearly reveal themselves in my marriage. And being here, being able to kind of see them on this grand landscape, slowly but surely, as I was growing, and I keep saying ascending, but as I just started to learn myself and do the work, the more I started to become a mirror to him and some of the shortcomings that he's insecure about, and the things we've kind of swept under the rug, they're now super amplified. And he could not take it. He did not like this light I was finding in myself, because when that started to shine, I was becoming harder to control. I was harder to what's the word when you're predicts, like he's not understanding, like how I respond, the things that the way I used to respond is not how I'm responding now. And he's like, whoa. And he started running out of options, and so he tried to meet me where I was, and it just was not, because he wasn't doing the work. He was just trying to emulate what he was seeing. I'm going on hikes, I'm in nature, I'm basking in the sun. He's like, it's too hot, it's like I'm really just on this path, and the kids are right in tow. And so fast forward a little bit, that never changed. The light didn't dim. It just kept growing and growing inside of me, becoming more difficult to direct and control on his part. And then I don't know what happened, but it became a violent situation. Like it became like, I want to be heard and I want you to do what I want you to do. And basically, no, he would never say this, but it's like, you're moving too fast, and I know I'm not going to be able to keep up with you, and I know I'm not the man that you need, but I'm never going to say that, because that would mean I failed as a man, and I'm not going to fail. Like, I'm saying, none of this has been said, but this is how I processed why. I had to understand, why was I allowed, like, why can you get to the point where you love a person so much, but you can put your hands on them? I had to really break down the why. Once I remove myself from it, I see it's all him. There's no reason. I was not a provoker. That wasn't me. And I guess what really was the turning point for me to say I have to leave, my daughter was looking at me. You know what I'm saying? My sons are watching this rage, this ugliness, these arguments. I mean, it would be ridiculous. And I couldn't allow them to think that any of that was okay. It was important for them, no matter how difficult it would be with now, being on my own. I would rather them see me struggle in that way versus, the way that they've seen me struggle, Yeah, I was gonna raise hell by any means necessary to get myself and the kids out of that situation. It's a lot of layers, it's a lot of layers. I'm telling you, this adult stuff is not easy. Like human connections and these life contracts that we have with people that are like, they're put in our lives to trigger us. It's not easy, so.
No, I agree. It's very difficult to tell your story, because sometimes I'm like, I want to tell my story more, and you just don't know where to start from, because there is so many bits that you start telling, and then you're like, oh, but this, I have to say this for this to make sense, and and it's very difficult to tell the story. So, but I think you're telling it very, very well. I'm following what you're saying. You're doing a great job, and I know it must be very, very tough, because especially when kids are involved. But sometimes the kids are involved. That is what helps pull us out, because as you said, you've got your children watching this, and you don't want, especially your daughter, to think that this is okay.
This is not love.
That is not love. And so you have to be the one. No one's going to stop it for you. You have to be the one. I've had communication with women who have been in similar kind of situations, and they're not at a place to take the step to be able to move on. And you have to get there yourself. I can support you as much as I can support you, but ultimately the decision lies with you. So you almost have to reach a point where you say enough is enough. And you had got to that point, and that's how you were able to be strong enough to say, okay, I'm leaving, this is it, And so I really applaud you for that, because that is not easy.
Not at all.
And especially here in Ghana too, where nothing is familiar, and now you don't know who you are, you don't know where to start. Like that stuff, it's deep. As you said, being an adult, it's tough. No one really warns you about this.
Nope.
You don't know where the transition was. Where's the pinpoint where it happens, where you're a child and now you're an adult? Where does that transition happen?
I ask myself the same question every single time.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But
it's very tough. So at what point did he start putting his hands on you? When was it?
If I'm being honest, it happened. It was when we were still in the U.S. It started pretty early on. When you are, oh my God, I don't want to bring out these macro level things, but being an African American in America is very stressful. And when you are not, when you don't have money, it's even more stressful.
Yes.
And when you've chosen a person who is just not a provider, it's just another layer of frustration and pressure. Oh my gosh, the pressure on both sides, because it's like very clear that we're struggling because he's not able to make it happen. No matter, not saying there wasn't effort, but it was like nothing grew to sustain us, so a lot of it was on me. And as a woman kind of carrying the household, you kind of have a bit of something in you that it's like, I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to, what can you tell me? I'm holding it down. Yes, you are great being here, and we don't need to pay for childcare, but it's like, that can't be your only contribution.
Yeah.
And it's got to be okay for me to say that, and I have an Aries moon, so there's just fire in me. It's hard for me to allow inaccurate things to be said about me. So a lot of our fights started like that, where it's like I am not okay with him saying this thing, or speaking about, my family would come up a lot because they were not rah rah, we're on your guys' side. They were always on the chopping block as you're just like your father, you're just like things that he knew were hurtful. And then from there it would just escalate. It would just escalate to the point where he wants to quiet me, physically. So it was always a period of apology, and it was just this ugly cycle of I'll never do it again. I know I need help. It's okay, but what are you doing to change? What are you doing to manage your triggers? Because you're pushing all my buttons and you don't see me throwing hands. As a woman, that's I want to be in my softness. I want to be I would love to be kind of, I don't even want to say traditional because I'm pretty far from that, but I want to play my role. But when I don't feel safe to do that, I withhold a lot. A lot is withheld. my wifely duties probably were neglected because I didn't feel it, you know. I'll just keep it there. But that also played a role in the physical abuse because it was like, you're not doing enough, you know. But I thought it would get better. So when I decided, it was me who decided to move our family to Ghana, not knowing anyone, not, you know, just kind of sight unseen. But yes, doing a lot of research. I figured if we can't make it in Ghana, where we can be remote, you know, doing our thing in a beautiful environment, if we can't make it there, then it really is just really not meant to be. Because I always would put so much pressure to kind of take it off of me. I would say, oh, it's our environment, it's the society, it's the day-to-day, the rat race. That's what has us in this bind. It's not us. Like, I kept trying to say, no, it can't be us. It can't be. It's gotta be this, and this. But then coming here, and then it's still happening. No. Oh, I was like, the first fight after moving to Ghana was so ugly. And I was like, what? How? You know, I thought that it was this, and now I have to kind of rewire something and back to the drawing board. So it wasn't that. Now what is it? So yeah, that, I hope that answered.
Yeah, no, like there's a lot to unpack. I'm just hoping that I can remember to go back. So I think one of the important things you said was he wasn't a provider. And I think that is key to a lot of relationships. You have to know yourself and you have to understand, do you need a provider? For me, I need a provider. And I was in this, I know some of the things you're being a bit sketchy and you're not saying the full, because you're not ready yet. And that's fine. I'm ready. So I'm going to carry some of the story for you. Okay. So I was in a similar situation where in the UK, I wasn't really working. But when I came to Ghana, I was the provider. And after some time, that took its toll on the relationship because I was just like I can't keep doing this. I still have to be a mom. I still have to do other things. I'm still understanding myself, and I have to provide. And you're not carrying your weight. And when that happens, there's no way I want to be in the bedroom doing anything with you. Because I'm first of all, I'm tired. Yes. I'm stressed out. I really don't have the energy for that, and I'm not attracted to that in this time. I don't want that. And honestly speaking, for a woman, if certain things are not met, we cannot just open ourselves to that. We really can't. It's so important for a man to play his role in the relationship. For me, a man, he has to be able to provide. It's important. And I know that might sound like, you just want a man just so he can provide and needs to bring the money. It's not that. It is a role that a man is supposed to play to help the relationship, you know. And without that, everything falls on the woman, and that burden is too much for us to carry alone, especially when not enough effort is being put in. So I understand where you're coming from, and I understand what you're saying. You know, that is really, really tough. I mean, did you have support when you came to Ghana?
No. I mean, I had my savings, you know, that's what we had. And then I was working, because I was doing administrative digital marketing type of work in the US, I just started picking that back up again.
So you're working remotely?
Yes, for myself, working with clients, really word of mouth, like it's really by the grace have I been making it, to be honest. But I do many things, you know, many things to sustain us online, and I even do make herbal products and things like that. So in the almost 6 years that we've been here, I don't see how he has not been able to find something, you know, just something. And yes, little boosts have come on his side here and there, but on the grand scheme of 11 years, it's like the contribution has not matched what it needs to, just straight up to sustain a household of 5. So yeah, but
I guess I know that, cause I'm going to ask you this question because people ask me, and so I'm sure they'll want to hear what you say. How did you continue to have children with a man that is not providing for you and you're not happy with? How did that
How did that happen? Right. Because we felt very, let me say, well, one, I wasn't on birth control. So there's that, because birth control just was always doing something ridiculous to my body. And it was just not working for me. So continuing to stay in the relationship, continuing to have children, I wish I had an answer. Like there was a lot of love there, you know, and I noticed because my kids, I mean, their ages 9, 7, and 5, you know, the gaps are small.
Yeah.
And they always align with like some big fight and then this big makeup and these big epiphanies and promises and renewal, you know, that would happen. And it's like, we're going to get it right this time. But it was like when I had my daughter, that changed everything.
How old is your daughter?
She's 5 now.
Oh, she's 5, right.
So when she was born 2020, it just shifted everything. I really locked it down, you know, as far as just knowing that I needed to make some changes because I have a little girl now.
Yeah.
That does something different to, you know, having 2 boys, you kind of,
Yeah.
the 2 of them before Neri was like, we were just rolling, you know, I was a boy mom. I was very clear on the direction of like the examples that I eventually wanted them to see. I knew their father's shortcomings, and I just felt like my presence would be enough to counteract some of the, you know, things in their bloodline, you know. So, but when I had my girl, I said, no, that's not enough.
Yeah.
You know, there needs to be real physical change to ensure that cycles are not repeated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a few, two tries, a couple tries for me to understand that I needed to really take the reins. I think that's really what it is. It's like I had to finally take the reins of my life, whereas I'm kind of just, I'm pregnant, again. It's like I made the changes that needed to be made to ensure that couldn't be another possibility.
Yeah. Did your kids ever witness any of that abuse?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
And how did you deal with that?
A lot of apologies, a lot of distractions with things and activities. But I'm really open with my kids too. You know, we talk a lot. Sometimes maybe even crossing, as far as communication, I know growing up, my parents kept me out in the dark about a lot of things that it's like, guys, if you had told me, I would have not run away from you all and done things differently. Like, it's so important to be open, you know, age appropriately, open with your children about the things you're going through. It's so important because it helps them to understand their role, you know, and where they are. And, you know, just that love never wavers. And so, you know, it kind of just it's so weird to say this, but it became like a norm to the point where, you know, they would come, oh, my son, I can't even, it's hard to, that picture to see like my son, at the time, my oldest was like 5, like my daughter's age, and he's like consoling me, Mommy, why are you crying? You know, and just hugging them and say, it's gonna be okay, Mommy, you know, I don't even want to repeat my, you know, like the excuses are not right there, just not even in my narrative anymore. Because now I name it, you know, I name who their father is and what he did. I don't sugarcoat it anymore. I call it what it is. It's abuse. It's not right, and nobody should ever have to experience that. And I'm also clear with them that abusers are often people who have been abused in their life as well. So I really want them to see clearly, you know, what it is. Even when I was still in the middle of it, I didn't hide. Couldn't be hidden. So I think that's, I don't know if it's the right way, but it, you know, just we have very open and balanced conversations. You know, that's not easy.
That's really tough. And you know, I said this when I had my breakup as well, that it's very hard to name what the thing is and say it, because sometimes you feel unjustified for using that term because you feel like it belongs to other people and not to you, and so it's hard to say, yeah, this is what happened to me. So domestic violence, it's abuse. That's what it is. You have to call it for what it is. If it's emotional abuse, it is emotional abuse. Call it what it is. Like, we sometimes are so hard on ourselves that it's almost like we feel like we're not even deserving to say that or apply that to ourselves. And so we hide it, and we don't even want to use those words because it's like, it feels so harsh to us, you know, like, I don't want to use these words, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And the quicker that you admit that this is what it is how you'll be able to move forward.
Yes.
Because you need to be able to do that.
Moving forward is where I am. Like, that is the space I am in right now. Like, after we got settled in our new, because I left everything. I left my house, my things, my everything.
I want to know about that. Like, how?
Like, I grabbed a few dresses for my girls, a few shirts and shorts for my book. Like, we just grabbed a few things, and there was no premeditated plan. It was like, no more.
You just did it
I just left
day.
one day, May 5th, 2024. I just said, this is the last time you're going to put your... It was the last time. And thank God my good friend was in town from the U.S. and it was like her presence anchored me, because sometimes I feel like I'm so alone here and there's not a soul on this country who can carry this heavy, ugly, embarrassing shit that I have. And to have someone from home here gave me that strength that I think I've been keeping dormant inside of myself. And her presence in the midst of all of it was the only way that we got out. And I thank God for her every day. And, you know, I had just paid my year's rent, you know, so I had to now make magic happen, you know, to get us in another space on the other side of town, because it's not like he's gonna have the means to leave Ghana, so it's like I need to be far, put space in between us. And I kind of had to lean on the community for a little bit, and it was how we were able to get to the place where we were, you know, after. And that was like a little incubator space where I could heal, we could grow, create new routines. I got the kids in school because I was homeschooling from the very beginning. And
your story is really similar to mine, honestly. Like,
the homeschooling tip was I could not manage it anymore. Now I really needed to buckle down and hustle out here. And I did not want my children to suffer because of the decisions that I made for our life. And so they're in a great school now, you know, so that was kind of like I made a list. When I left, I made a list of things I needed to accomplish or change, you know, about my life, not only for my children, but for me in any future relationship that I would ever entertain. So I made my list and slowly, you know, focusing on the children first, started marking things off, gotten them in school, cool, extracurriculars, cool. You know, I got them settled, got them on lock. And now there was time, you know, and yes, I'm not out 333. I'm not legally divorced yet, but I don't feel restrained. You know, that doesn't make me feel any type of way. Maybe it should. Other women, maybe it does. Like, they feel like they can't, I don't know why in my mind I don't say get their groove back, but like, I don't think that I need to sign a piece of paper to do that. So, I've been open to just using what I know about myself now and the things that I've learned to just be open to new chapters. You know, the things that I know I deserve, that the children deserve. I'm really thinking about, I mean, they're so young. The right person can really make a big, beautiful impact. You know? And I'm really taking my time with that, being very intentional and honoring my list.
Wow. No, like, like as you were talking, like I'm telling myself, hold it back, Della, because I feel so connected to your story, and it's very emotional when you've been there yourself, and so I know the pain that you went through, and especially as you were talking about having to write that checklist and knowing that, look, you need to step up right now, you need to get some things together. And while all that is happening, you're still having to deal with your internal emotions.
Yes.
And you almost have to set that aside so that you can focus and get certain things done. And that is the part that a lot of people don't understand, that is really tough.
Yeah.
You have to put everything else aside. You know, I remember when my separation first happened, and, you know, like, I said to myself, listen, you're going to have to do some things now. Even though I was already the breadwinner, I was like, I need to really hold things down. And the day after I found out some stuff about my ex and I had told him to leave, I had to go and do this YouTube video. And I was like, okay. So it's almost like as I close the door here, it's like I transformed from one person to this other person to get the strength to be able to shoot that video, to, you know, to be able to move on my life. And I did that every single time. It was like, you open the door, you come in, you feel the heaviness, and then you go out again. You know, I didn't have the luxury of going into a new space where everything felt fresh. This was where everything happened. And so that was hard, you know. I know it must have been hard to pick up and leave, but at least you get to, like, there's some fresh air here, you know. But I'm sure that also came with challenges. I mean, what happened when he realized that you weren't around? Like, how did that story unfold?
It's still unfolding, actually. Like, he didn't believe I was serious. He thought I'd come back, you know, when I ran out of, like, he just assumed that I would fail. And so I don't think he really prepared himself. You know, I'm the one making food. He's not cooking for himself. You know, like, his whole life changed, I can imagine, you know, in that empty house without the life, you know, the light. And oh gosh, in 1 year, so many, even more mistakes were made, you know, as I'm trying to peel myself away from an identity that I no longer resonate with, you know. And how did it work? It's now to the point where we can't have contact. Like, there's just no contact, even on, you know, the co-parenting side. There is no co-parenting that's happened. We tried it. It got messy. It got, like, you want me to pay for their Uber and all the food for them to be with you? Like, that's not sustainable for me. You know, I'm doing what I can't make 2 dinners for y'all. You know, I'm doing it for the house. I'm managing everything. So when I realized that co-parenting would require more depletion on me, what can I do? You know, what can I do? And it was kind of another thing, because he couldn't control what the co-parenting was gonna look like. It just got ugly again, you know. And I'm not going to be in my new space and still arguing with you and you know, reaching the top of my voice for what? You know, I've worked really hard to not find myself in that, like, fight or flight, you know, that like feeling dysregulated. Like, I've been working I've done so many things to regulate my nervous system, you know. So to, like, backtrack because he's not able to hold his weight was just a responsibility that I had to release. It was not my responsibility to do that. So now it's kind of just crickets. Even doing an interview, there's still so many things that are undone. You know, I'm not, like, on the other side, and, you know, like, speaking.
I don't think you fully get to the other side. Really? There's still things. No.
Talk to me about that. Like, what?
No, it's the truth. Like, no contact thing. Same with me and my ex. No, there's really no contact. He doesn't really play a role in my children's lives like that. You know, he tries to, just so that he can maintain appearances, to say, oh yeah, I tried. Like, I've never stopped him having contact. Whatever damage that has been done is because of what he's done, so he has to take responsibility for that. You know, like, there's things around child support. He refuses to send child support, so I'm still holding everything down. You know, and so it is tough. You know, there's no co-parenting. It's me. And the only way for me to be able to process that is to accept that this is how it's going to be. I'm going to raise these children alone.
I had to surrender to that
Yeah,
fact.
once you do that, it becomes easier, because otherwise it's like this person is always going to disappoint you, disappoint you, and bring you back, pull you back, and you can't have that. So the more you accept for yourself, then it's easier, because the disappointment is then gone.
That is so real. I couldn't name it before, but you just said it. It was really the reeling me back. Like, I would be feeling so good, like I'm doing my routine. I'm, just on a different level, feeling good. And it would, in one conversation, I would just like go back to like this small girl, Liana. And I'm so trying to, like I said, peel myself from this small girl who's been making these small girl decisions and being in survival, and like even how I present myself to the world. I don't want to have that energy of I can be manipulated. I can, you could do whatever with me. Like I'm just this ditzy, blah blah blah. No. I have a backbone. I'm a grown ass woman, and I demand respect by no matter what. And so when I noticed he would still have a little bit of that power, it made me disgusted. I was so disgusted. Like, Liana,
I get it.
We got so far. I got my journal. I'm writing this shit out. And so,
no, I totally hear, like, you're talking, I'm digesting how it happened to me. I'm like, this is like such a great conversation, because that's exactly how it is, the way we see ourselves, like trying to come out from this person who was under somebody else and be your own person, and like you say, get a backbone, have a backbone for yourself. It's so hard, and people don't know how hard it is to come out from that, because for me, I felt like I keep using myself, because it's just easier. So for me, when I was coming out, I was just like, I still felt like this little girl in some respects. And it takes a lot to realize that, what? I'm like, I had to tell myself, like, look at your age. Like, when you were younger and somebody told you their age at the age that you are now, how did you feel about them? What sort of respect did that number command? That is the same respect that you need to give yourself. You're not a child anymore. Right. There are things that you can do. As long as you believe that you can do them, you can do them. And so you have to get that power for yourself. You have to grow out. You have to stand up for yourself, because a lot of time we don't stand up for ourselves. There's so much outside influence as well that will tell you, you should do this, do that, don't do that, do that. Like, you shouldn't behave like that way. You shouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, you know what you need and what is right for you and your children. And it's hard to break away from all that noise that goes on. And the other thing I want us to talk about is, when you are going through this process and you are now setting these boundaries, how did that change the dynamic for you and your family and your friends and things like that? Did people feel like you have changed too much?
I think the change, they all kind of say it was right on time. It did change a lot about, like, once you put up one boundary with one major life contract, they all go up all over the fucking place. Like, you can't talk to me like this, and you can't keep bringing up that story, and you can't call me that name, and everything is like, I have the reins now, and I don't by any means, no, we're not, you don't have to walk on eggshells with me. I'm real, I'm open, we can hash it out. But even, with my dad, he was the first trigger of my whole life. I love him to death. Now that we're at the point in our lives where we can communicate openly, and, I can see him from a different lens, and not the little girl who's just like disappointed and hurt. Now I can tell him the things that hurt me, and the things that are not okay, and the things that I know is probably normal from the generation that he's from, but this is how it makes me feel, and this is how I'm going to respond to you if you continue, that this or that or whatever it is that I don't appreciate. And I was met, instead of what I thought, by holding my ground. I thought I would be like refused, or like they wouldn't accept it. And it was actually something that I think was needed, just so that they knew their roles. Because I'm sure, I'm having children now. I can imagine when they're older, how that role changes. And then as a parent, you're like, oh, they don't need me like this anymore. So what do I do?
Right.
You know? So like, obviously I'm 31 years old. My father can't do the things that 3-year-old Liana would need, or 13-year-old Liana. So by having clear boundaries and knowing what I allow and what I don't allow, it gave him a rubric of how to be my dad in a way that's not, I'm trying to not like make it sound controlling, because that's not a fair way to exist. People are human, they're gonna be who they are. But just for them to have a guidelines of just where you are now, and if it updates, they're getting the live version every moment, like from conversation to conversation. If it was cool, you know, for you to remind me of this that time, this time it's like, nah, let's change something. And in my friendships, I think they strengthened because I isolated myself for 9 years essentially, because they saw what I couldn't, you know, my real solid friends. It was I had to kind of humble myself a little bit and acknowledge some of the things that they shared with me, you know, early on. So that uprooting of my life, I think, fused the real relationships that mean everything to me. They fused even more. And then anything else just fell off the way it needed to, you know, and all in divine timing. So the shifts that have happened in my relationship really strengthened the other roles, the other dynamics, and the other life contracts. So because I had to change, you know. So they had to get the update. You know, from all these miles away. You know, I have to. You know, you got to be unique in the way that you know, stay connected with your loved ones when you're so far. So
Exactly.
I'm definitely not who I was when they last saw me. You know. So it's not easy.
It wouldn't be normal if you didn't change, though. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You have to change. And I think another thing that we have to realize when we go through these life changes as well is that people are going to drop off. You're going to lose some friendships. You're going to lose some people on the way because they don't understand the new person that you're becoming, or they don't agree with some of the decisions that you make, and it's going to affect those relationships. And you have to be okay with that. Because this is a new chapter of your life, and you know, I've very much come to the conclusion that it's okay to let people go. Sometimes people are not in your life forever. They're seasonal relationships, and you have to be ready when it's time to let it go, and that's okay.
You just said it.
Because you're going to the next level of your life, and it's okay. Not everybody's going to come with you, and that's fine. And if you accept that, then it makes things easier, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what kind of advice would you give to somebody who is in a similar situation to you and wants to leave but doesn't really have the courage to do that yet? Like, they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. What would you say?
I would tell them what I wish I would have heard in my ears as I was spontaneously making these really big decisions. You deserve better. Like, just always have that ringing in your ear. Like, and if you don't think, maybe you're not there yet. It actually takes some work to even think you deserve better. So let's back it up a little bit. If you have children and you're in this situation, they deserve that. They definitely, you know, don't need to go through what you're going through. So, you know, see it from a different lens. If you don't have children, look at a friend, whoever is the person. Sometimes you have to remove yourself and put another person that you love in your situation. And if that's okay for your homegirl or your daughter or your best friend or your mom to go through this, then fine. But if it's not, you need to do something. The fear is temporary. The fear is just the ego. It is just the ego trying to protect yourself. That is what it is there for. It's not a bad thing, but you just have to know its role. You have to allow your fully integrated self to understand that stepping outside of your comfort zone is going to totally change the trajectory of your life for the better. And you just have to be delusional and believe that shit with everything you got. Even if you don't, if you don't see it clearly, cool, that's okay. Just know that you are not alone. Ooh, that gives me the chills, because it's like, even if you don't have the village you wish you had, spiritually, you are not alone. You
Yeah.
have your ancestors, your team. You have a greater power that is guiding you in your life, and it's all already done. You know, lifetime. I'm always about time, and what is time, and you know, all of this multi-layer stuff. But like, just know that when you finally change the thread, so like you're going here, but when you finally change the thread in your life, beautiful possibilities are waiting for you, but you have to be the one to go on that thread, that path to make it happen. Otherwise, you're going to stay stagnant. Yeah, you'll keep going by, you know, they're not going to block all your blessings, but you definitely going to get delayed on the major manifestations or things that you have planned. They're going to be blocked. And that's something I had to really kind of sit with for a while. And not everybody understands meditation, so I won't go into that. But like, when you sit with yourself, and you see very clearly what, you know, life can look like 5 years from now if you stay on this path versus if you try something new, it kind of gives you like a I know this destination. It's not what my true purpose. When you really make that change, your whole life will change for the better. I guess I could say that. So fear is not real. That's the main thing to share, and you are not alone. Never.
Trust me, I always say to people, listen, you're not the first person to go through this. You definitely will not be the last person to go through this. There are people going through this as well, and so it's nothing new. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Get rid of that shame thing, because I think we carry shame too much, and it's not called for. It really isn't.
It's not.
But I want to know about your happy story now, because now you seem so happy, and it doesn't, like, May 2024 was not that long ago.
No, I know, right?
So you've done really well. Tell me what is going on right now? What's caused this happiness within you? Because we can see it.
Oh, bless you. That's a beautiful testimony to share, because I feel like I crash out every other week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still be having my moments, but the things that have been keeping me happy and thriving is just like I'm finally pouring into something creative. My admin work is like the hustle, the like, I gotta do this, let me do this website, let me do this, you know, it's like the feeling of I have to maintain, I gotta keep it going, you know, for the family and paying for things, but now doing something that is like rooted in soul and passion. Like Afri Groves is like something for me that I get to put a little bit of myself into something, whereas my client work is based on what they need and aligning with their goals. But this is something that aligns with my goals and the way that I like to express myself. And so that's just a big thing. Finally, again, I had to remove this imposter syndrome. Like, you can't do a fashion brand. You can't do that. Everybody, or like the feeling of everyone's doing fashion. And no one's gonna like your shit. And who's gonna, you know, like kind of finally stepping away from all of that inner noise and stepping into something that I feel really good about. That has really helped. You know, I kind of wake up with a different energy of like, oh, I get to, you know, record something. Even before I came here, just getting a snippet of how you can style this thing. It can be styled in so many different ways. I love finding new ways to wear this robe. And so those things are exciting. And then I'm also experiencing a connection that I never thought that I would find. I met a man.
Okay. Now we getting the tea. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah. Crazy.
You weren't expecting it, right?
I wasn't expecting it.
That's how it happens. Yeah.
Where did this person come from? He's not even Ghanaian. He's from Burkina Faso. And so, the day that we met, everything just felt like it was from a movie, you know, like I was actually late to my own birthday dinner and he was coming in the elevator as I was going up, and I saw him, the elevator was about to close, he was walking in, so I blocked the elevator and you know, it's my birthday, so I look good, you know?
Yes.
So
that's right.
He speaks to me in French, and I'm silly. I'm, in birthday mode. I said, oui, oui, parlez-vous français, some nonsense. And he just started laughing. And I went on about my evening. It didn't go beyond that until the table started receiving bottles. And I was like, who is sending bottles to the table? And the waitress was like, oh, that gentleman over there. And it's the guy from the elevator. So
I just love a good love story. Honestly, like it just warms my heart. Like I love love. I love it for myself and I love it for other people. Beautiful.
Yeah. And from there, you know, I was definitely in September last year. I was like fresh off of I did a raw vegan detox in August. So September, I was feeling so light and just, you know, still very much so not in a space to, you know, be open to love. I was just, you know, in mommy mode, you know, constantly in mommy mode. And I think my birthday was the first time I had gotten dressed in months. So that felt really good. And, you know, I don't know, from that day, I tried to do what's the thing where you push people away? Like, I tried to be like, no, trust me, you don't want this baggage. Like, I was you seem like a really great guy.
Yeah, like,
you don't want what's going on.
Too much going on.
Yes, you know, he, you know, is really solid in his career. Like, he's good, you know, and I didn't want to be that stain, you know. I'm still working through, like, not being this damaged goods, you know. I'm working through not, you know, seeing myself in that way. But none of that fazed him. None of the ugliness, not the fact that I had children, not that I'm not even, you know, legally, you know, it was just about showing up and just showing me something different and new that I never thought was possible. And when I went back to that list,
he checked
every box. And I don't know who sent him. I don't know who sent him, but I am grateful. And I am just like still with my reign, still, you know, not falling into those same patterns of us against, you know, because it's my life that makes me feel like I still kind of got to cling to someone. But no, like, we're still very much so grounded in our current past, but still find a way to come together.
And that is it. You don't need him. He just complements you.
Yes, exactly. And like, I don't have to tell him where to fit in. It's like he intrinsically, like, I don't know if I just don't know who, like I said, I don't know who sent him. I don't know if he was specifically made for us, but he just knows where to fill in and like knows what is needed, and I don't have to ask. I don't have to come out of my, I really want to be in my, you know, all these TikTok, and they're all teaching me about divine femininity and your softness and your role, and you know, how you can use your Venus sign to just change your life and amplify that romantic side that I had suppressed for a really long
You don't realize how much you have suppressed that side of you until you come out and you're like, is this what it feels like? The air feels nicer, the sky's brighter.
Your senses are just enhanced. Like, I'm even getting hot right now.
You know, it's like, oh my God. Everything feels very different. It's like, is this the life that other people have been experiencing?
Yeah. I was like, whoa, I can't believe I've been depriving myself of this. You know? So those two things have been a major contributing factor to just my joy. Not only have I found it in myself and continuing to find it every day, but like this boost of just a partner who is just riding with me, you know, that feels really, really good. So
that's beautiful. I'm so happy for you. Honestly, I'm genuinely very, very, very happy for you.
Thank you.
Really. You deserve it, honestly.
Thank you.
You really do.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you came and you shared with us today. Like, I have so many questions that I want to ask you, but this video is just going to be too long.
I could go on.
I know, we both could. We both could. I'm telling you, like, we could do the back and forth thing. But no, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of how far you've come. You know, you're doing an amazing job. I know it's not easy when you have multiple children. I've been there. Still there, you know, but you're holding it down, you're making the best decisions that you can for them with what you have right now, and it's enough. I just want you to know that it's enough, you know.
That means everything coming from you, like our conversation that day all those months ago was so intentional, and like you really are an inspiration, because I know you're in the middle of your own story, but from my perspective, without even having a conversation with you, like I can see all that you've gone through has made you so strong, so empowered, and like you're out here killing it, and I'm proud of you too. So
oh my God, don't make me cry now.
No,
feeling emotional.
Seriously, it's an honor to be holding space with you right now. I'm telling you.
Thank you so
Seriously.
much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh gosh. Guys, we're going to end the video though because I can't take any more. Please just stop being nice. It's beautiful. Thank you. But before we go, I want to know, where can people find this lovely robe? I just wanted to promote this.
So everything is new. Like, it's all me. I don't have a team. So right now you can find me at Afric Robes on Instagram.
Okay.
That's all I got right now. I'm working on the other elements, but I am building the digital shopping experience that is coming end of August.
Awesome.
So you can follow the page and that will be how you can stay in the loop.
Yeah, awesome. Please guys, go ahead and support. Even if you can't buy anything, just go like her Instagram stuff. Just, follow her page, share it, because even if you don't buy, somebody else might. So share her page. Like, let's support each other. We need it. They need
Absolutely.
it. Yes. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you
on.
too.
Okay, guys, that is the end. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to leave any comments or anything, just make sure you do that in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, we are out. I'm really proud of you, honestly. Like, I'm so